Well, obviously, thank you all for allowing us to record these meetings because I think they're really important to kind of record them just for even the posterity of the grid, like just to actually see it as it grows. So, thank you very much. Today we have Iceland, America slash Colombia slash France, England, Croatia, and Tristan is just coming on now, who is American, Icelandic, Irish, which is basically the best mix in the world. So I'll just wait for Tristan to come on before we start. Um, but well, I guess welcome everybody, and thank you so much for being here. Hey Tristan, what's up? Nice to see you.
I'm here. I'm here. Nice. Thank you for the lovely intro. That's really
No
nice.
worries at all. Is it okay to say American, Irish, Icelandic? Yeah.
You may.
All right.
That's cool. Love
Cool.
it.
Thank you so much. Well, thanks for joining the call. It's a great honor for you to be here. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
Um, Yeah, so this is the fourth call, and basically the grid is really beginning to take shape now. It's like it has really moved beyond just an idea. It's now a living organization that is, beginning to grow and grow and grow. Like we still haven't even started promoting it yet because we want to get everything correct and get everything right from a technical perspective. But as of today, we've now connected over 3,000 hearts around the world, which is just fantastic. And it's clear that it's going to keep on growing from there. And we get a lot of messages from people who have been using the grid to, basically connect to their hearts and then connect to others. And just all of the feedback is just so heartwarming and lovely. And, I think maybe there needs to be a way to start to share all of these amazing comments and feedback, which I think may perhaps when we start the social media kind of push, that will be something that we can, start to use because people are very happy for us to share their experiences. And so version 13 is now live, and it's now the 13th software release. In this release, there's three big things, which is now live on Google and it's live on Apple. And the first big part is the grid groups that you can now join the grid as a group. And because we've had a lot of people who have been using it as, let's say, three, four, five people have been coming together, but there has only been the option to basically display as one person on the grid. So what we are doing now, and as I explained last week, is that when, let's say, five people join, the dot is a little bit bigger. And if 10 people join, the dot is a little bit bigger again. We have restricted it to 10 people just so we can get like real data back. And then, once that has been successfully proven, we can then, basically allow more people to join in groups. We have also released the charter of the grid, which is available inside of the application. It's also available as a document if you'd like to receive it as an email, and it will shortly be available on the website as well. And we have fixed a number of connectivity problems, because if you join the grid and you're offline, it caused a couple of problems in the application, which is very rare for you to be offline, because most devices are connected. But let's say you're on an airplane and you don't have connectivity, which is now quite rare again. But we have fixed the issue with offline connectivity. So I think after 13 releases, it's now really, really good and sound and ready to really expand into the millions of people who we are hoping to reach with it. Also on version 2, which we are working on, we talked about this last week and we've made a huge amount of progress, but we are now introducing the idea of 30 days, 30 voices, one heart. And at the moment, when you join the grid, you listen to Stephen McCormack's interpretation of what it is to go from your mind into your heart and then to expand from there. But, as we've talked to other people, there's, very different ideas from different cultures and different life experiences on how a person can go from their mind down into their heart. So what we are going to do on the 31st of August of this year, we're going to launch this new initiative where we are currently collecting meditations from people. Thor is on the call here. He has already given us two. Gail is going to give us one. Maria is going to give us one. Nevin's going to give us one. I think maybe Tristan as well is going to give us a meditation as well. And then we add that to like the 5 or 6 that we already have. And it's now the 5th of August, and we have, let's say, 15 meditations ready to go. We also are working with Jeff Cozy, who is the amazing musician and sound engineer in America, who's going to be working on the workflow of actually taking people's audios and maybe adding some music onto them so that they can go up into the grid and they're basically played in a very seamless way. There will be a slight moderation process, like when people send us the grid meditations that they'd like to use, it will be shared with this group here inside of our Telegram group, and everybody will have an opinion on, what's the best one to go with at the right time. So the plan is to have 30 meditations all ready to go by the end of the month. From a software development perspective, Arthur is updating the application to support this. Version 1 will be a cycle every day. There'll be a new meditation. The user won't have the option of selecting, well, I want to listen to Gail from now on, or I want to listen to Maria from now on. It's just going to be basically fed each day. There'll be a new meditation, but then you'll also be able to see information about each of the people as well. So you'll be able to see their social media, their website, and if you're interested in more, you can go and read more about them. So that is something that we're making great progress on. So I would ask that if there is anybody listening to this, if you do have something that you'd like to talk about, if you're a storyteller, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're just a person who has something to say from the heart, we would be delighted to include you in the grid, because, as we said, it is now turning into a tapestry of voices from around the world, and we are very, very excited to see how that's going to go. So I guess the call to action is, if we have any meditation guides, any storytellers, any artists, musicians, teachers, creative people of any kind, please, please, please do make contact with us through the Instagram, through the YouTube, through email, through phone, and we will basically include your meditation next month, which is very, very exciting. And then as part of that, we're also going to be introducing the grid sessions as well, where basically, let's just say, for example, Gail is going to give us a meditation, 10 minutes, but we're also going to have the option to actually have a 30-minute call with Gail, just to actually, to basically hear her story, hear, what the heart means to her, how she came up with this, and just basically a way for you to actually get to know the person behind the meditation. So that's going to be the grid sessions. And we have our first one on Friday with a lady down in Valencia in the south of Spain. And she's going to be giving us quite a powerful heart meditation, which she has done on me about 2 years ago. And it was absolutely life-changing stuff, just to go from your mind into the center of your heart. So those conversations will then become part of the YouTube channel, in the hopes that people will start subscribing and liking and sharing, the grid to everybody who they can. So I've spoken a lot now. Is there anything else that anybody would like to jump in with now at this point?
Okay, so thank you for the update. This is so exciting. Also, I have heard Thor and your meditation. I have heard it to kind of understand. I mean, not understand, but to hear different sounds of voices and tones and everything. I have been mainly writing like old school, like on paper. It was so nice. Anyways, I'm excited to do it. And also, I heard your wife also, the one that she did in Iceland. It's so beautiful too. And I start to see how it's going to be a mosaic of perspective, of a tone, of vibrancy. I think it's beautiful. And I will contribute as a visual artist in my way, and I love it. So thank you for this opportunity to voice.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Hey,
I'd love,
Kristen, I saw you
I'd
come
love,
up
I'd
there.
love to chime in. Oh, I'll go whenever there's a space. I'm really excited to chime in when there's a moment.
Jump in, please, Tristan. We'd love to
Okay,
hear.
okay, I'm going to jump in. So I'm amazed at how much progress has happened since I did a call with you all. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I did the grid call with the group, with the community. So much progress with the charter and with inviting all the different voices. And I've been kind of chewing on the grid idea, and I've been thinking about how to get it to scale, to get those millions, the million people on there. I know it's a journey, but we're all together, and I think together we can do this. So we are doing it. That's my mantra. So I'm excited about doing a meditation. I love that you've opened it up to bring your own flavor. And what I was visualizing was for the future of the grid is that anyone, anytime can tune in whenever they need meditation, and they can just tune into the grid and they can see the lights around the world of people meditating when they're meditating. So it's live 24/7 resource. It could be a lifesaver for people. Honestly. And I know that it is sort of operating in that way now, but it could be also, yeah, that in the future you could have your little community, like you have your people that you meditate with on certain times, or there's a certain voice that you gravitate towards. But I love the fact that it's a community, that's a wide variety of choices. People can try different things and explore. Just love that. I think it's really fantastic. So I'm super excited. I'm also been visualizing the grid, because right now the earth looks a bit like a moon. uh, It looks like a moon, and the moon is a rather cold place. So I'm actually been visualizing that you could opt in to have different colors, or you could have different styles of the grid. Like if you gravitate towards seeing the Google Map Earth like that, like you could see it like, oh, I'm seeing the world like almost like a Google map, and I'm seeing the lights around the world. And I was visualizing that each person's light that shines wherever they are in the world that people could sort of design their own, not emoji, but their own icon.
Yeah.
Like there's an icon that's a three-dimensional shape that's kind of floating in space. So then when you're like, this is very futuristic. I'm just putting it out a future vision.
This is where we
So,
are as much
right.
as possible.
Future vision is like, okay, I'm meditating in Iceland, and I decide, oh, I'm going to meditate by the glacier. So we have like a 360 degree. We have 360-degree meditation spots around the world that you can activate when you're meditating. And
Yeah.
then if people choose to join you in that location, they're seeing their icon kind of like floating in space. So you're kind of gathering in certain sacred spaces around the world. Could be Machu Picchu, could be
Yeah.
Rainbow Mountain, or could be the glacier, Snæfellsnes Glacier. Wherever in the world you want to gather in your sacred space, you could do that. So I'm just kind of going a bit sci-fi now, but I just really have been having fun.
Sci-fi is good, Kristen. Please continue with the sci-fi track. It's brilliant.
Well, I was also imagining that the grid could become a resource for like my platform Flow. So just to introduce myself to the community here, I've been working for 10 years with immersive technology. That's why I'm visualizing 360-degree immersive locations and meditations, because I've been working with immersive technology for 10 years now, and we're bringing solutions that help people feel better and help them, yeah, regulate their emotions and basically meditate even in the most difficult places, like you know, in a hospital waiting room, or they're before they have surgery, or yeah, even in like a prison, or in like a mental health facility. So like these are the kind of the places we're bringing meditation. But so I was thinking, like for a platform like Flow, which is not just for healthcare, which it is working in healthcare, but we also, people are using our app from wherever around the world. Um, they can access it. The grid could be like a kind of like a plugin, or not like a plugin. It could be an aspect
Yeah.
to a meditation app like Flow, where like, do you want to be live, with your community? And then you can do these live shared sessions. Because actually that's in immersive technology, that's really popular idea, that people could actually gather together in VR and meditate together. It's a really powerful idea. But so that's something that the grid could potentially in the future enable for a platform like mine that doesn't have that community aspect to it yet.
Yeah. Well, I think actually you didn't read like your application flow is absolutely incredible. Like, so you can take it into a hospice and you can put on a VR headset and you're now on a glacier in Iceland. And everywhere you look around, you actually bring that to the person in the sick room with music and with live or with original music that is created specifically for this. Like, what you
Yeah,
have is fantastic. And the fact that you're even on this call with us today is a massive achievement that we are on the right track. So thank you, Tristan. And you
thank you.
have some really great ideas. And the 24/7, absolutely, that's next. To actually allow people to join at any time, just to breathe together, and all of the things that you've discussed, even into the mini grid, to actually create a grid that you would have for a group of people who want to come together to share an intention. The grid is going to support that as well. The sci-fi stuff, I think we need to talk about that a bit more, but it sounds amazing.
Yes, to
Yeah,
be continued.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. Thank you.
Can I chime in, Steven?
Yeah, of course, sir.
It's so good to see you all, old friends and new. Um, and Tristan, yeah, great that you're here. And
Yeah,
if you guys have a virtual reality device like a headset, I recommend that you check out Tristan's application, Flow. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's shot in some of the most beautiful spots in Iceland, and the meditations. It's very immersive and it's absolutely amazing. And I wanted to comment on, Tristan, what you were saying about the reach. And I think it's absolutely amazing to see people from all over the world coming together that have a joint belief in just spreading love. And I think we probably all agree that that's something that the world needs today in these strange times. Is just more love and compassion and understanding and connection between people. Um, and so me and Stephen are working on a social media framework um, for uh, for the 30 day 30 voices. And so we're going to set up a kind of a framework for how we can all collaboratively promote this. If we look at it like a 30-day festival or an event where there are people from different schools of meditation, different schools of philosophy from all over the globe coming together, um, introducing each other, and basically, coming together in brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, um, to promote this beautiful idea to just be kind to one another, you know, be, be a good person, be a good human being, be nice to your brothers and sisters. And in a way, that's a different sort of grid. It's a grid of teachers. It's a grid of people that are trying to spread a positive message. And I I'm very excited to see how that plays out when we all start pointing fingers at each other and saying, "Hey, look at this thing, look at that thing, and this is on tonight. I'm on tomorrow. This is going to be amazing. Check this out." And I think if we all participate in that as much as we can, I think we're going to have more success than most of us imagine.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I agree, completely agree. And yeah, Gail, sorry.
This is what I love about these chats because you really feel what the person's saying. You're feeling the field and not just the words bouncing along on the top. So, what has come to mind, which is kind of just building on what everybody has said, is that um, one thing that we could possibly start to think about is individually, and this is something that I can try and do, is with the 30 days, 30 voices idea, try and see if I can get this as an installation in a church in London. So over like a Saturday or a Sunday, have this 30 days, 30 voices, but just 30 voices of the heart. I reckon that I could, you know, there'll be a church that is open-minded enough to see this not just as an a spiritual thing, but as an artistic thing, as an installation, kind of like a mini. I'm always talking about the Biennale because it's coming up, but like an installation. And that would be quite good if you get the 30 days, 30 voices, and you get some visuals with it too. It makes it more like an installation. So you could be in a church hall or actual church space itself. I know that Niels has access to the Metal Cathedral. It's excellent. It's just outside of Amsterdam, which is a huge empty space that would probably be very open to that, where you can broadcast everybody's thought meditations. You could consider it without visuals, because if you don't have visuals, you go into the mind and you're activating your imagination. Or you could have some, basic soundscapes behind it or landscapes. But I like the idea of seeing if we could get some physical installations going in towns or churches or spaces here and there, because then it promotes the idea of a grid in that place and you get more people signing up, you get more visibility. Something to think about, perhaps. I guess you've got to get your 30 voices first.
We're
and then
already a
see.
third of the way there, Gail. We're already beyond, like more than a third of the way there. I think we're actually going to have like much more than 30 voices, which is wonderful. And it's mad, and it's actually really interesting you say that, because we actually are connected to an incredible artist in Paris who has done an independent project, basically like what you've just described, like in a church where people have been leaving voice messages or kind of
Yes, of
wishes,
course.
and and then they've been displayed in this church, and it was really, really beautiful. To actually have a physical installation is wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and I'd love to explore that, so thank you. And it would be a great way to actually get the word out there as well, get physical people into places. Thank you. Amazing.
I love that. It's so, because it comes into from the field into an experience, like where we can meet, and be together in a space.
Yeah.
That sounds really nice. I have to say, every week I'm excited to see you again. Like, my life is very simple. I work, and then I love my work, but I don't have a big community in Texas yet. So you are my community, to be really truly honest. It's very important for me. Every Wednesday, I'm like, yay. So I imagine if we have a space, a physical space, and we actually can hear each other's voices, I think I gets me emotional. I love that so much. And that's why also I was thinking about, a few weeks ago, we were talking about maybe having events like the grid is gonna be, I don't know, in the south of France, and then we have a party or we meet, and whoever can come is welcome. I don't know, something like this. I think
Let's do it. It sounds fantastic. You're a huge proponent of the
I
physical
mean,
meetup, so we have to
I
do
like
it. Yeah.
presence, and just I already feel you guys. The presence is strong. Like, I feel the energy. But imagine if we're in the same room and we can just, together. Just
Yeah.
say.
Well, look, you're in Paris at the moment, so come on down to the south, and I'm sure Gail will come over. Maybe Nevin, Tristan, Thor. In fact, TJ, let's have a party in the south of France. Sounds amazing. So yeah, I think we should. Great idea. Is there anything else? TJ, how's things? TJ is based in America, and he's just turned his camera off. I think he was trying to unmute himself.
Hey there.
How are you, brother? Are you good?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that sounds good. Am I on here now?
Yeah,
I'm on my phone instead of my laptop.
you're on. And
It's
you're
a
on.
little weird. Yeah, I agree with the moon thing in what you was saying. Uh, uh, yeah, I think that's my only comment thus far on what I've heard people say. It would nice to be the light. I do like how it spins too, but I was thinking um, of more of like the airplane map where you can see the whole thing at once rather than the spin. Not to get into like a flat or a circle or whatever thing, but it'd be nice to see just like the landscape together, especially with like a grid, like with this grid concept and just making it uh, more interconnected like that, where you can see the whole thing in one view. So that's something that I've been thinking about. And then when she was spoke of it looking like a moon, I was like, yeah, that is right. That kind of does pop in my head when I see that. But then also we spoke before about the colors of uh, people tuning in there, so
Yeah.
it looks kind of like an actual grid going over that. So that would be something um, I would say. I do like the blues when you see. I don't know. Now that she was saying like the moon thing, I do think like a nice earthy color,
Yeah.
and then like lighten it up with like some brightness. Might be nice.
That
So
that's something that we've been talking about with Adrian, the UX designer. Hey Jeff, nice to see you. Of the with the UX designer about actually integrating more color and to actually have almost like the aura of the earth will change as people use it more, and you'll actually be able to see the wave of love beginning to go around the earth. And then as we go back to the local 11:11, because right now it's 11:11 Central European time, which could be 5 a.m. Depending where you are in the world. So it's not going to be really accessible to everybody. So with the next version, we're going to actually bring it down to local time zone specific. So you'll actually see the wave of love will start, let's say, here in France, and then it will basically start to spread around the world. And we'll be able to visually represent that in really cool, like Northern Lights colors, which I'm sure Thor and Tristan see every night of the week up in Iceland. But we'll be able to give that to our users. And then we also have talked about actually being able to actually have your own skin on the app. So, like you can basically change the colors, you can change this, you can change that, you can change the music, you can change, how the grid is displayed to you personally. And that's going to be another kind of step down the road, which actually takes me on to a really important point, that we're going to be launching, like basically the grid is free. It will always be free. There will never be a subscription. There'll never be an advertisement. There will never be collection of your information to sell to advertisers. I come from a world of privacy from my past, and I know how to basically keep everything locked down and safe so that everybody can use it. But as a result of that, there will never be a commercial side to the grid. But then as a result of that, we're going to be introducing this new section within the app where you can actually see all of the active projects that are currently happening, or all of the projects that we'd like to start. And actually that will basically show the actual resources that will be required for each project. So that if anybody who is using the grid, let's say, wants to support like 5% of a software developer's paycheck, or of a designer, of a social media person who will basically manage the entire thing professionally, they will now be able to contribute to that if they want to, just to basically spread the weight of the cost, because all of these great ideas are fantastic, but they're just all resource dependent. So if you can bring resources, or if you want to support in any way, we will be fully transparent. We're going to partner with an internationally recognized accountancy firm, who'll basically be in charge of all that stuff, because there are things that we don't want to really think about, and we just want to get the jobs done. So in the next release, we're going to have Support the Grid, where you'll be able to see our active projects, our volunteer opportunities, the skills we're looking for, what the current priorities are. and the priorities are all born out of these calls, from the grid calls. So, and it is mapped back to the charter. Is this going to help a person connect to their heart? If it is, then it becomes an active project. And if it's not, then it gets pushed out to another project, or, out completely. So we are going to be bringing that in, because there is a lot of stuff, and we are a very small team, but these calls, prove that the team is beginning to grow. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who can give us like maybe 2 or 3 hours of their time to do some coding, to do some design work, to do some social media management, to do whatever needs to be done. And we're basically creating that so that it's very transparent, very easy to understand, and just all about supporting and growing the grid. So that's going to be coming next as well. Jeff, I hope you don't mind, but when you weren't here, I basically told everybody that you're going to be an absolute critical part of the grid meditation workflow, in that we're going to collect them from everybody, and then Jeff is going to take them and he's going to work his magic on them so that they can be uploaded into the grid in the best possible way. So that's what you get for being late.
It's 11:11 here now too.
Oh,
For me and Jeff.
yeah.
oh, good. Join the grid.
Oh, good. Good. It's like I don't have anything else to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I had a pretty busy couple days there. So, but as long as we're going, Thor, I actually got through all your songs this morning. And I downloaded a couple because I want to see what they might sound like with your meditation. And I started going through a lot of my content that I already have to see whatever else might work to be able to put up there for other people to use and stuff like that. And I may, I probably one of the easy ones might be Unifying Hearts, which is the song I created under Stephen's voice. I can probably make that available if somebody wants to be able to use that. There's some adjustments I want to do to it yet, but I could repost that if people want to use that. It's the only thing, and I'm honest with everybody, that had some AI Bansuri flute in it. Most of the pads and things were done with Hollywood strings and my MIDI orchestra type stuff that were down on that. But I'm a good flute player, but I don't play Bansuri flute very good. And that was just the sound I was seeking under his voice when it happened. So I'm bad. But I hope to do mostly, or not predominantly, or all analog. So stuff that's real. I mean, I have a lot of singing bowls and tuning forks and different types of bells and things like that I could use, and lots of orchestral and string pads and things like that. It's whether I have the time to do 15 by the 15th. We'll see, because I had some other commercial projects that I'm getting paid for that I got to finish by then too. But yeah, so I'm honored to help, and I really feel this is an important thing for not just all of us, but the future for our friends and families and people. When they start seeing this evolve further, I think we'll see a lot more people with it. And and I'm one of those guys that says, would you put your phone down, turn the computer off, and go barefoot, get out in the garden, or go for a walk, or get to the water and get your feet in the water, get grounded, because we draw out that deuterium from the toxic water and the crap that they're feeding us. And I think it's important that not only, here we are trying to help everybody, but before you can really do a good job of helping other people, you really have to help yourself. If you're not living from your heart, you're bullshitting yourself trying to jump on the grid and tell somebody else what to do. So it's important that you go into your heart center as you do all this, and really get to that place of peace, and then share that with us. because that's going to make you better. It's going to make all of us better, make me feel better as I try to help get it ready for broadcast. And one of the things I got to bring up to you quick, you mentioned kind of in a quick text to me yesterday, Stephen, about the intro and the outro to the talks.
Yeah.
And I I think that once people are into the grid, we don't have to do so much explanation about I think once you know how to use the app,
That's true.
you will automatically want to go in and uh, use the rest of it. To begin with, I think it's important, but we don't have to all have the same exact script to
Oh yeah, of
enter
course, of course.
and
Yeah.
end to end.
No, yeah, like
But,
Jeff
but
said,
let's talk about that.
sure.
So as people are writing their meditations, what do you feel as an entrance um, and an outro? And let's look at 9 minutes,
Yeah.
as kind of a lockdown on it. You could have it shorter if you want, but trying to do editing and stuff like that. So you have to have that little clip at the end if you want to have a closure.
Yeah.
And maybe let's look at what kind of closure all of us could discuss right now and say, what do you feel we need to say as we bring people out of the meditation, what you'd like to do?
Sure.
Well, oh, sorry.
Don't be sorry. Let's hear it.
No, it's just I thought someone was talking.
Somebody,
When I'm writing right now, because I'm doing it in the past 12 hours, I've been really inspired to write and early morning. I just I read all the contributor guide, and I felt really good about having some structure, like because I like structure because I am very, very free flow. So it's nice, I was like, okay, there's 3 points I want to welcoming, yes, of course, and then remind the globe. I think it's nice to have those things, even if you take someone into which I will take the auditor to a journey in an imaginary world and all that, to bring it back slowly into the app, because also it's a practice. We want to take them also to the other side, which is share with us what you did, all this other aspect of like taking them on what did you do to show love, and what memories of love you have and everything. I like to say that to finish, kind of.
yeah, exactly.
That's my experience so far.
Thank you. And I think, like just to keep like a loose structure on it, to actually, actually tell the person that the globe they're looking at is live, that this is a live broadcast. And when a person comes up on the globe or when a dot comes up on the globe, that's completely live, just to create the sense of connectivity. And then, to bring the person from their mind into their heart, which is the ultimate objective. And then at the end of it, to gently, reminds them of the heart amplification center, which is where you can go to basically build that heart energy by remembering love, by committing acts of love, by being grateful. And then we have a gentle guide to, here's a place to type it in, just to actually make it manifest, as you take it from your mind out into the keyboard. And then ultimately the next version will then actually allow you to actually pulse that out into the grid as well. So like they're the only rough kind of structure of it. But for kind of everything else in between, like that is completely up to the meditator or to the storyteller. Like, and what we're hearing so far is like the most incredible pieces of work from people, like, so I'd say it's open, 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 with the exception of just reminding them that the globe is live and to go to the heart amplification center at the end, but everything else is open, like, completely open.
I'm wondering. I wrote this down for the the meditations I recorded, like both an intro and an outro,
Yeah.
if I should just put a Word file in the Google folder where the sample meditations or where all the meditations will be, just as an example, would
Yeah. Yeah. Share it.
that be helpful?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And if anybody doesn't have access to that drive, like we have a Google Drive, which basically has all of the meditations that are already in there, the guide, some of the music. It might be too much for everybody to actually see because, they don't maybe need to see it, but just to have full transparency, you can basically access all of our meditations now. But thank you, Jeff, for giving it that structure. It's very, very good.
So why don't you, everybody, who, especially everybody here in the beginning, as you do your intro and outro, let's post some of those as examples for people to look at. And why don't you make those like PDF files that they could download? So if they don't have a Google Drive, we could send it to them on Telegram, or
Yeah,
you
of
could put
course.
it in the chat here and they could download it or something.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. I will do that. Thank you.
And the suggestion, we could take what you just had in the Google Drive and I suppose if you have the Google Drive, you can already download it, but it might be a way to grab that and just suggested intro and outro and just grab that, put it as a one-page PDF file that they can download.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So if anybody wants it, it'll be available within an hour after the call. Okay, which I think we have most of it there. Just maybe to be a bit more specific about the intro and the outro, or the intro.
One of the nice things I think is, like, because I don't want to sit and I spend way too much time in front of a computer already, but I print it out and then I can sit and on my back porch or upstairs, and I can sit and start writing out my notes. And when I have it on a sheet of paper to print out, then I think hand to eye contact really sets your hemispheres really well for when we write.
Yeah.
And as a songwriter, I found over the years is because, we all get into the computer and we want to cheat and cut and paste our stuff. And I go in there and then I go out and try to play my guitar and sing a song for somebody. And I'm going, shit, I can't remember the words, And so, but when I do everything, when I handwrite out stuff and I do it on pencil or pen on paper, I can remember songs from 25 years ago with no problem. But for some reason, the computer
The
takes
same with me,
something
Jeff.
away
Once
from
you actually you write
Yeah.
it down, you know. But in fact, actually, if I could just go back, and maybe Tristan will know this as well. But at 6 o'clock every day in Ireland, you have the Angelus bells ring from St. Patrick's Cathedral, I think. And and it's been going for many, many decades. Every maybe 3 minutes before the 6 o'clock news, you hear the Angelus bells. And they have a short TV segment as well where they show people from all walks of life just basically listening to the bells, and they stop what they're doing and they reflect. And that's it. Really, really really, really simple. And that has been drilled into every Irish person's head so that when they see 6 o'clock, no matter where they are in the world, they think of the Angelus bells. And that's basically where we want the grid to get to, because we don't want people in their phones or in front of their computers. We basically want this to just become part of who they are and what they are in their day to day. So yeah, we use technology now to connect people, but the ultimate goal is for technology to move out of the way and just for it to be all here. But we use it now just to basically remind and to help to make it a bit easier and to even collaborate. But yeah, Jeff, I agree. We need to get away from our phones and, into our hearts. But that's through repetition, 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 and hopefully the grid. And basically, that's why it is black and white. That's why it's not really beyond the globe, because we don't want to distract you. We don't want to take your attention away from, anything in your life, which is why the grid has just been designed to be simple, very, very unoffensive, black and white. Now I know, looking like the moon, which is quite cool. Or
So if I could speak to that though too, I mean, I get the getting away from the technology, but that's not really going to happen just in our daily lives.
That's a nice idea.
But part of what this is, how I feel that this works, is that we're taking this heart thing and we're putting that in and through the technology, which is important because I do think that that gets left out, if you know what I'm saying. You know, it's important to have people in their hearts putting that through that and sharing that with the, you know, the whatever the internet grid system, because it is paying attention to us, you know, and receiving what we're putting into it. So something like this where people are connecting their hearts and putting that through their phone or telling it to their phone and the phones hear that, I think that's an important thing where it's happening two ways, you know. And that
So
way, like the internet is kind of absorbing that energy, and it's sharing that when you're on your browser or whatever else too. I think this is effective to have people in the grid, in their hearts, hitting the internet with that, and then that kind of cascades over onto other platforms. If you kind of see, if you can follow what I'm saying, you know, it's like we're infiltrating that internet vibe by putting into it, rather than just being a receiver and using this. We're actually like training it to feel heart and feel people with heart. You know, it's like we're educating it in a way which I think is important.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very nice way to explain it, and I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than just be like, let's get rid of it and be
no,
without it. You know, it's more of an
I wasn't meaning that so much. It's like put your phone
No,
down.
I was saying what Steven was saying and letting it down. I know what you're saying, but you know, just bringing that mindset into it too, that we're not trying to like, you know, we're going to have it there, so we might as well.
Yeah, we're not going to get rid of technology. That's for
Right,
sure.
right. So we might as well train it to like know what the heart is and recognize it, rather than like, hey, let's put it away and do the heart and keep it separate. It's like an inclusive thing, you know, where it's learning. Kind of like when you say like, well, the AI or whatever. It's like, well, if we teach, I mean, I'm trying to, I don't, maybe in the biocoherence we've had this conversation together. You know, in teaching the AI a compassionate thing, like, oh, these humans, there are compassionate ones, even though maybe some are like that, but it's
Which
also
is
like,
why you should say please and thank you all the time.
yeah, or like, hey, it's treating me like a compassionate being, like as like, you know, and it's going to treat you that way back, rather than it just being like your bitch and like doing what you say and blah 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 and not there, and then that's going to treat, you know, when it gets smarter or whatever, then it's like, oh, well, I'm going to treat you this way then too. So, well, one other thing too, and if Jeff's open for that, with the tones, that's something that I could get into there as a meditation, rather than it being a meditation. I can just go through the 13 tones there and getting that up there, as a meditation. If people are, you know, that could be a choice, you know, with the toning box. If Jeff, you need another thing to do, that could be something that I was going to do anyways.
Yeah, we can do that. We can record you.
Well, I think just in a nutshell, like we are definitely on track for the 31st. So like even if it's only like 10 voices, like it is more than enough. And thank you everybody, and please do continue to send them in. We're very, very grateful. So thank you. We're coming to the end of our call, unfortunately. We don't want to take up too much more of your time. So if there's anything else you'd like to add, like if there's anything you'd like to talk about, like about grid functionality, or if you're having any issues or any improvements with the current version that we have, we'd be delighted to hear it. If you could share the grid, that'd be great as well. Like we actually haven't started really doing anything with the sharing, and we've already got 3,000 hearts have been connected, which is fantastic from a testing perspective. If you can invite contributors, if you can share the weekly Wednesday calls, and you know, just keep sending ideas into the Telegram group, because it's just amazing to see everybody coming together. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Gail. You got to go. So thank you all. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a beautiful
Thank you, everybody. This was so amazing. Always making progress. Thank you.
Ciao, Tristan. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Ciao, ciao.
Forward.
Thank you, everyone.
Good luck, guys.